Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a game that I played in the Fatherland IS-3A. This is a tier 8 Soviet premium heavy tank which I earned through the Defender of the Fatherland Ops. The game I'm playing is a standard battle on Heilbronn with tier 8 as the top tier, 1 artillery on each team, and 2 Fatherlands on each team. I have my Fatherland equipped right now with a tank gun rammer, a vertical stabilizer, and improved ventilation. The only piece that I would consider changing out is the improved ventilation for an enhanced gun laying drive, since this 122mm gun is quite unwieldy to use. I have a large repair kit, large first aid kit, and automatic fire extinguishers supplied right now. I definitely find that the Fatherland benefits from these larger kits. It is used as a close quarters fighting heavy tank, so the advantages that these kits provide are definitely worth it. And I haven't had any problems with silver earning even with these larger kits. My Fatherland has a pretty balanced loadout of APCR and heat shells. I really like having the APCR shells as standard ammunition, because that extra shell speed really helps when enemies are moving really fast back and forth around cover, kind of like with this Liberty that I'm fighting right now. And the heat shells have some really awesome penetration, which is even better than the penetration in the IS-3's top gun with APCR shells. This is really useful when you're fighting tier 10 tanks, and although as a tier 8 you're naturally going to struggle a little bit in tier 10 games, those heat rounds definitely make sure that you can do a few damage hits in a game if you play your tank right. Now overall this tank is pretty much a blend between the IS-3 and the IS-6. So the Fatherland has the same reload, damage per minute, and accuracy as the IS-6, but its penetration is more comparable to that of the IS-3. It's not the same though, the values are slightly different because it uses APCR instead of the IS-3's AP rounds, and the premium ammunition is heat rounds instead of APCR. So now that we've chased back that Liberty, my team pretty much has control over this area. So now we get to see the Fatherland fight in a way that all Soviet tanks dread, ridgeline fighting. Although the Fatherland is by no means a ridgeline fighter, that does not mean that it can't get cheeky shots in. Now moving on to the armor of this tank, it's got the same hull armor as the IS-3, which is really quite reliable to bounce at least a few shots. Of course, experienced players with high pen guns will still be able to penetrate your front, and there are a few weak spots which most tanks can penetrate, so you are by no means indestructible. Except maybe to that tier 6 Skoda, which has been having a lot of trouble penetrating me so far. But otherwise, side scraping is a good strategy to hide these weak spots. Now although the turret armor of the Fatherland is weaker than the IS-3's, it is still incredibly reliable, and it really shouldn't change how you play the tank. Now regarding mobility, the Fatherland has a higher top speed than both the IS-3 and the IS-6, which allows the Fatherland to excel in assault moves on flat areas of the map. But it does have a weaker horsepower to weight ratio than both of the other tanks. So far in my playing though, I haven't found that it makes a huge impact on the game style. It of course does make it a little more painful to climb hills, but once you get used to the tank you'll be able to adapt your game style to compensate for it, and it shouldn't end up having a significant impact on how you perform in the game. Now the final aspect of the mobility to mention is its traverse speeds. It has the same track traverse speed as the IS-6, which definitely does feel sluggish at times. But the most important thing to note is that its turret traverse speed is 2 degrees per second less than the IS-6 and 4 degrees per second less than the IS-3. This does make you more susceptible to swarming, so clutch braking is an important skill to get for the Fatherland. Overall, my first impression of the Fatherland IS-3A is that it's a very good representation of the IS game style. Now between the Fatherland and the IS-6, the Fatherland is more suitable for experienced players, who are looking to reach the maximum potential with the IS game style using a premium tank. The preferential matchmaking makes the IS-6 a lot better for inexperienced players, but even still, if you just play the Fatherland a little more patiently, at least until you get familiar with the game style, you still have potential for some awesome games and a lot of fun. Now if you're unable to earn the tank through the ops, I think the packages to buy the Fatherland are a little overpriced, but it's hard to pass up the opportunity to get such a great tank. Now we're in the closing stages of the game here. All that's left is a Fatherland and a Super Pershing. I was a little too overconfident at this stage in the game, and so I was proceeding before my turret was fully turned. Now on this terrain, the Super Pershing definitely has an advantage over me, and unfortunately I gave him an easy shot into my drive wheel. Now this Super Pershing is on APCR shells, which I don't really blame him for because I know the penetration is lacking in the regular AP rounds. This definitely makes a difference in this situation, because usually the Super Pershing has a little more trouble penetrating the IS-3 armor, but I was also paying more attention to my gun performance, and so I ended up exposing my bottom plate for him. In the heat of the situation, I rushed my shot and ended up shooting the wrong area on his turret. This is an unfortunate way to finish off the game, and probably costed me a steel wall medal. But overall, I'm happy with how the Fatherland performed in this game, and since I was facing a lot of lightly armored vehicles, we got to see the awesome damage potential which it has. And let's not forget the 10 spotted target hits which I got, just from picking a good position to fight in. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how I did. For this game, I managed to earn 190,000 silver, with a 25% silver multiplier from the Dishing Out Damage op. That's some incredible earning potential even with using a large repair kit. I earned 3,234 experience without any multipliers. In this game, I dealt 4,587 damage, assisted with 2,186 damage, and destroyed one enemy vehicle while blocking 2,200 damage. This earned me a high caliber and mastery badge first class medal. And I'm pretty sure I would have gotten a steel wall if I hadn't have died in such a foolish way. I placed at the top of my team, earning a base XP of 1,960. I managed to hit 14 of my 17 shots and penetrate 12 of those. Because I lit that tier 6 Skoda on fire, I got a few extra damage hits. In this game, I managed to injure the Tiger 1's loader, and also damage the engine and fuel tank in the Skoda. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I've been really enjoying playing my Fatherland tank, and I'm looking forward to playing and sharing a lot more games with it in the future. Stay tuned for more awesome World of Tanks videos.